I'm going to give you 3 seconds to name the most talented MLB player whose organization wasted his career more than anybody in history. And I know you don't need the 3 seconds. Mike Trout already popped into your brain. This is a well-known fact. I'm going to tell you how the Dodgers are avoiding being that team and why everybody somehow hates them for it and says they're ruining baseball. Mike Trout, Rookie of the Year, a 3-time MVP, 11-time All-Star, 9-time Silver Slugger, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, Major League Player of the Year, Wilson overall defensive player. Games, 1,648 played in the MLB. Pretty darn good. Plate appearances, 7,203. Playoff plate appearances, 15. Let me say that again. Regular season plate appearances, 7,203. Playoff plate appearances, 15. He's 1 for 12 with a home run in his career. He spent his whole career with the Angels. He made the playoffs one time. They got beaten 3 games. End of story. See you later. Have a good one. People really dislike the fact that he stayed loyal to them a few years ago when he could have got out of there and he didn't. People are now begging for them to just trade him away to a team that might make the World Series or even the playoffs for all they care. Give the best player that we've seen in a long time, and certainly one of the top 10 of this generation and maybe any generation at his peak. Give him a chance to get to the playoffs. Let him taste that. Let him see what the World Series feels like. If he gets a ring, amazing. People are just like begging the Angels, and they dislike the Angels for it. They hate the Angels for not doing this. And I think the Angels honestly tried. They really did. They got Ohtani, they got Poole, they got a lot of guys that just didn't pan out. The Rendon. I don't think it's a lack of effort on the Angels' part. I hate to throw them out there and be like, they didn't do it. Maybe they didn't, maybe they did. But either way, Mike Trout will go down as one of the best players ever with 0, basically, playoff experience. And that's crazy to think about. That's crazy. But on the other side of that coin, you have the Dodgers. Ohtani also, which is almost easy to forget now, probably for everybody other than the Angels fans, was with the Angels for 6 years. Ohtani was with the Angels for 6 seasons before he came to the Dodgers. In those 6 seasons, Rookie of the Year, 2 MVPs. He finished 4th in the Cy Young voting one time. And in the year that he didn't make in one of the years he didn't win the MVP, he finished 2nd in the voting. 3 All-Star appearances. 0 playoffs. 0 playoff games with the Angels in 6 years for what are really 2 of the greatest players to ever play this game. Ever. And people hate this organization for it because they wasted 2 of the best talents we've ever seen. Now, Ohtani gets traded. No, he doesn't get traded. And I also am going to give my flowers to the Angels on not trading Ohtani. But this is probably part of why they don't win. Could they have traded him and got some really, really good guys for him? Yeah, they could have. But I do respect the fact that they just decided we're not going to go down as the team that traded the greatest player of all time. We're going to give him our best offer, and we'll just let him sign with someone else. So now the Angels, at the very least, don't have that on their back to say, yeah, we traded him away for a couple guys that didn't pan out, because nobody pans out in the Angels organization for the past several years. They have a very good young group now, and I think they're going to be all right. But we're not really talking about that. We're talking about historically, the last 10, 15 years, and probably longer. But I'm just talking about Trout's career and Ohtani's career there. Now, this is kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Here's what the Dodgers are doing. The Dodgers are doing something that I think other teams should take a look at, because it's not what you think. Oh, it's not deferring money. It's not buying. It's not buying your team. That's not what I think they're doing. I think it is, but I'll tell you why I think they're doing it and why I think every fan on the planet should respect it. Because every fan, I think, feels the exact same way about Mike Trout. They look at his career, they look at his 3 playoff games, and they're sad for him. It's a wasted talent. That's all it is. And not personally, because he has done his job, but it's a waste for a guy like that to not get to taste the postseason every year. He's that good. He should be on a contender every single year. Now, the Dodgers sign the best player this game might ever see. Maybe he will be the best ever, Ohtani. They sign him for 10 years, and they put $700 million into this man in what is clearly a business move because they've made that money back already, and he's got 8 years left on his contract, and he's just going to keep piling money in for the Dodgers, which is why that contract is the only one that is that expensive that makes sense. Juan Soto is going to be a fucking money pit for the Mets. Stupidest signing I think I've ever seen in my entire life. $770 million. For what? Ohtani brought all of Japan. Ohtani brought money. Juan Soto brings nothing to the clubhouse, nothing really to, I don't know, what does he bring internationally? Not the Dominican. He just doesn't bring anything Ohtani brings financially. Fine. That's not what we're talking about here. Ohtani is with the Dodgers. 10 years, $700 million. The Dodgers looked at Ohtani and said, we have one goal. Do not waste the 10 years that we have as an organization with the greatest player that may ever play this game. Go out and get everybody. Go out and get whatever we need. Go out and win as many championships in the next 10 years as humanly possible for this team, and then we'll figure it all out later. But while we have the greatest player in his prime, we are going to maximize this guy's career. Why that's so hard for people to appreciate is beyond me. I think it's crazy. I think it's absolutely crazy. The culture they've created, the culture Ohtani has brought to this clubhouse, and the other Japanese guys in Yamamoto. I mean, the culture that Yamamoto brought of, hey, we're out here to win and nothing else. I don't care what it takes. I'll throw tonight. I'll throw tomorrow. I'll throw the next night. This is the World Series. I don't care. We made it this far, and we're going to finish the job. Losing is not an option, right? You don't see that today. I can't pitch today. I threw yesterday. This, to me, is the Dodgers doing what everybody would have loved to see the Angels do for Mike Trout and Ohtani when they had them both. Go get all the guys you need. Figure it out. Do it smart. The Angels tried. They picked up some guys that did not pan out. The Dodgers are smart. I feel like they're meticulous with what they're doing. They're not just grabbing guys to grab guys because they're big names. They look at their needs. They look at what they do. They spent 2 off seasons building, one in Ohtani, and last year it was everybody else. They just got everybody else that made sense. They got a pitching staff that allowed them to throw 4 starting pitchers in Game 7 of the World Series. People are going to look back at that game and go, you're telling me they threw 4 starting pitchers in the Game 7 of the World Series and all 4 of them are Cy Young worthy? You're telling me they threw Blake Snell, they threw Ohtani, they threw Glasnow, they threw Yamamoto in one game? And it was the last game of the series when all those guys had already thrown recently? Yeah. Number 1, that's what they stockpiled with. Good players. Number 2, that's the approach they took to the season. Whatever it takes. Next man up. Be ready. I don't care what happened yesterday. I don't care if you threw last night. I don't care if you threw 2 days ago and you normally don't throw until 4 days rest. We're here. Get it done. So far, Ohtani's been there for 2 years. He has 2 MVPs and 2 World Series championships. The Dodgers refuse to waste this man's career. And while everybody's sitting here saying they're ruining baseball, on the other side of that coin, they would be calling them huge losers, just like they look at the Angels and go, they're losers. They had the best player of the generation on their team, and then they had the other best player of any generation on their team at the same time. And in 6 years, they didn't take either of those guys to the playoffs. The Dodgers said, let's not be those guys. We are not stupid enough to sign one dude and then nobody else. If you're investing $700 million in one guy, you better build around him because this is baseball. One guy can't do anything for you. It takes a team. It takes 25 guys on the roster. It takes 9 guys on the field. It takes 9 guys in the lineup. So to watch everybody rip the Dodgers with their deferred payments, which are legal and have been happening for as long as anybody knows, just not at the rate the Dodgers are doing it. But the thing is, if you're willing to forfeit that much money up front and get it on the back end, it's because you want to go there. Edwin Diaz was in New York with the Mets. He was dominant there. They had their walkout intro music for him. Cohen, the richest guy in baseball, just paid Juan Soto $770-something million. And the Dodgers come around and offer your guy 3 years, $69 million. You offer him 3 years, $66 million, which God knows you can go an extra 3 to match the offer and an extra 30 if you really wanted to. Make it 99. Hey, they're going to give you 23 a year. We'll give you 33. Keep the best closer in baseball. It's right now and maybe in history when you stack up his numbers, some of the greatest. The thing is, there's a culture that was built in LA, and it's a winning culture. It's where superstars are going right now to go win a championship, play with a team that knows how to get it done. The atmosphere, everything about the Dodgers right now is a team that has done it right. They've built a culture for the past 10 years, and they've built it by, yes, getting very good players, but that's not enough. If you could just buy a culture, then what happened to the Mets last year who spent the most money? What did they buy? They bought Juan Soto. They bought a bunch of other guys that didn't gel. They didn't vibe. There's clearly tons of reports about these guys not getting along. They spent $770 million on a guy that says, listen, guys, I just want to come here, do my work, win, and get out of here. I'm not going to be hanging out in the clubhouse. I want to be with my family. There's no camaraderie, it sounds like. And that, to me, is such a waste in baseball. You're not going to win that way. You're just not. And I know Soto won when he was 19. That was with the Nationals. And I guarantee he was much different. Probably didn't have a family. Probably didn't have other things going on. Probably didn't have $800 million in his bank account. And there's a guy that went there and said, I'm not deferring any of this. I want it all. So one guy says, I'll take $700 million. I'll take 2 a year. You know why? Because I want to win. So take that $68 million you would be spending on me and spread it around to all these other guys. There's not one guy on the Dodgers, other than maybe Ohtani, that every team in the league couldn't afford the contract the Dodgers gave those guys. They could all afford it. Everybody in the league could at least afford one of those guys. So what's the reason that they didn't say, let's offer him this, let's offer him that? Yeah, we might get one guy, but hey, we got our guy. Nobody did it. Nobody stopped the Dodgers from doing this because the Dodgers have built something that people want to go to, and nobody else has an attractive enough offer to say, hey, come over here. Come play for us. Same amount of money. No thanks. Excuse me. This obviously gets me a little riled up. And I'll tell you what, if you didn't look at the Dodgers without bias, if you just looked at them without bias, I hate the Dodgers. Everybody does. If you're not a Dodger fan, you hate the Dodgers. If you're not a Yankee fan, you hate them. If you're not a Boston fan, you don't like them. That's fine. That's all fine. But if this was your team, if it was your team that you loved that got the best player on the planet for 10 years, and then they did everything they could to make sure that they maximized that guy's career by putting other unbelievable players around him and ensuring that, hey, this guy's going to get his. He's going to go down as a champion. He's not going to go down as a guy who is top 10 of all time with 3 playoff games and 12 playoff at-bats in a 15-year career. That's insane. And for people to look at the Dodgers and say, you're ruining baseball, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But I'll tell you what they are doing, which is very smart, is they're utilizing the best player on the planet to draw in other good players. They created a culture. They're spending the money, and they're doing what every other team is looking at going, wow, we should do that. And they're not willing to. The fact that they're not willing to do that means that's your problem. The Dodgers are going to keep doing what you wish you were doing. I would say this if I wasn't a Dodger fan. Because to me, this is a competition. And when an owner and a GM and people are sitting there going, yeah, let's do it. We're here to put the best product possible on the field. That's all any team wants from their team. Go put a good product on the field, please. All of a sudden, another team that's not your team puts the best product on the field that maybe anybody's ever seen, and now it's an issue? I know this feels like one big rant as a Dodger fan, but this is just a rant on baseball fans in general. You're seeing a team take the best player on planet Earth, the best, and you're watching them ensure that his career goes the way it should go. And that's what you're seeing. Be as upset as you want with that, but just know that if you're upset with it, you're an idiot. And you're filled with bias, and you can't even look past the LA logo and just see what's actually going on and go, man,